Folks, welcome to Jumpgate. I'm Major Freak. Let's get this started. So I'm almost level 19, and I've got Tripoint almost mapped out for the roids that have been listed so far. I want to find clusters of common, lots of them packed close together. There's a cluster, amazing cluster in Tripoint that I discovered earlier today when I was playing for about 5 hours.
You may proceed.
But I haven't really explored Tripoint. Tic-Tac, it was in Tic-Tac, a huge cluster, really packed close, so I'm hoping to find that in Tripoint, and pretty much any system, but yeah, Tic-Tac definitely looks cool for massive cluster of common, but yeah, let's see how often that happens. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. No beacon flipping, one swarm, right. Check out the prices. Didn't think I had a bunch of stuff. That's kind of cool. Let's get rid of it. Fluxer is precious? No. Alright.
Transaction complete.
Okay. One more mission to level 19. Precious and radioactive. Thank you.
Transaction complete.
Woohoo. Oh, no new gear. Strange. Okay. Never mind. Common. Get rid of that.
Transaction complete. Transaction complete.
Alright, so I'm at Tripoint. It's been a while since I had last mined here, so I'm gonna truck on over
Charging weapons
to
and defense systems. Please stand by.
Galileo, which is the large radioactive. Bring up what the Give me a sec. Whoops. Oh, crap. Well, yeah, I swear I saw the DLL show up the last time.
Welcome, pilot. You may proceed.
There we go. Okay, and maybe number button hasn't been pressed. There we go. All right. And radioactive now. Whoops, I've got those. This is interesting. So it does. I don't think it works when I do that because it'll put in that and the rotacol will just fail to work, right? One assumes. I don't think that's the one in question, but it would know that think that's a thing at all. I think I just made an error. But the fact it actually worked is interesting. I wonder if it just saw the number 15 and it was like, okay, 15 is the x coordinate, right? We'll see once we get to it. Well, it's not 15. Well, this will be interesting. So, what kind of rotacol is this? Interesting. It's going to 0 on the x coordinate. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm turning and burning at 1500 now. And I'm still short. Amazing. And I've learned to match the number as close as possible. Alright. So yeah. I wonder? That's so weird. So, okay, let's bring that up. So, it goes, okay, so it sees that, the first 15 in those brackets, as a null for the first one, and then it goes, so it doesn't go 15, it goes null, and then it goes minus 38, and then minus 19. Weird. Sorry. I thought I heard burning. I thought I smelled burning. Gonna have a stroke. Alright. So that is interesting to know. It would be nice if it ignored that, but it doesn't, so. Okay. This was just done for, close this out, and this is just done for bug hunting. Didn't really need these. Yeah, I posted in bug reporting on the Discord for Jumpgate. But yeah. There's a bunch of repetitions that need to be dealt with, and that's what I'm here for. Fixing what I probably caused so long ago. Alright, let's open that up again. There we go. Alright, so Galileo. Nope, Vivania. Oh, right. I'd switched the order because Vivania is right on the far side, or the near side, should I say, of the cluster, and it stretches for like 48k distance, and yeah, and it just kind of big long line basically stretched out. So that is Galileo. There we go. Yes, interesting. The integer for the rotacol is 1000. You go one decimal place, it's 100 distance. I'm just going to call it meters. And the second decimal place is 10 meters. Third decimal place is, it'll adjust it by 1 meter. So there's no real need to be more fine-tuned than that. I believe you could probably get away with 4 rotacol decimal places or more, but it gets to be silly, right? Because you don't need that goodest. I've discovered that the purple line is your afterburner fuel. Lol. It's like, where is it? Can't see it. It's It's right there in front of me all this time. Yeah. ECM. I'm not even sure if that works very well for flux. I bet you it doesn't at all. Got 3 missiles loaded. Kind of prefer if it was just all by default. There it is, all fresh. Get about 3 trips to it. So I'm unladen, and we know that I can turn around at just under 1500 and burn to a stop. I'll try 1300. Now most of these roids are going to have, I've got to test it actually, but the thing is, if I've got I guess it applies with everything really, but the further away the rotacol is from the roid, the less chance you have of, you know, flying directly at it when you've got the rotacol set. But I'm sure we're all intelligent people, we can figure this shit out. But typically, I like to have the rotacol placed at perpendicular to where you're coming in from. But then you could be, what if you're a ship with a large cargo hold and wants to go between roids? I mean, I can't plan for all eventualities, right? So 1300, turn and burn. So, okay. So I'll try 1400 next time. All right, in we go. And I'll try to do the acceleration, deceleration without using the brakes, and just keep that purple arrow semi-visible. Just whip around and grab all the ore from it. And remember to turn it off as soon as it hits 14, otherwise you're going to be kind of making it go more blue in an unfunny way. So I'll use afterburner to get up to top speed, and then I'll just chill on that. Yeah, I was using brake thrusters a lot when I was in the breeze, but since my cargo wasn't very big, I didn't spend a lot of time doing that. And as you saw, I don't spend a lot of time mining when I'm orbiting, so it all balances out. I'm hoping to find a ship with exactly the cargo size needed to do a rad and always get precious at 1 integer of cargo of precious. And I believe that 16 cargo maybe will do it. I've got 14 cargo now. Pretty sure 15 won't cut it. But if I can get another ship with more cargo hold, probably way more than 16, then I'll just fill it with missiles and other stuff, and then I can take advantage of the mission system to really exploit the and that way hopefully I can do a large roid 3 times and get 12 missions out of it. That would be cool. If I can do that, I'll be very happy. Just depends if I can get away with it, you know, because I'll completely mine out the roid. Can I get 3 times 16 units out of it, right? That's a question. And yeah, eventually, if you're mining something like, say, if you're mining a chip, right, you won't be able to get more than 8 units out if you're lucky. All right, so fully loaded. We turn and burn at 38, I believe. Oops. As he sails by 3,000. Okay. That'll work. That's cool. All right. Okay. And I'll burn up till I see yellow. Then I just hit brake and just let myself glide in. Do.
Docking procedure initiated.
Alright, so I already had Precious in cargo, so I should be able to do 4 missions. And make sure I've got Tripoint set. Radioactives, Precious? Hell yes. I'll always take the Precious first because it's kind of dicey.
Complete.
You'll most likely get radioactive or semi, and it's sort of uncommon to get Precious, so always go for Precious first. Semi-fluctors, great. Okay, we'll get the semi-fluxers now, and hopefully
Transaction complete.
we'll get the radioactive. It never seems to be in level 3. It'll always be in level 2. Haven't seen semi-fluxers in level 3. I'll see ice and Precious there.
Transaction complete.
Okay. And we'll get about 12,000 experience and 200,000 credits for this. And then complete the common and then just
Transaction complete.
sell this.
Transaction.
There you go. Alright. Just check the missions out of curiosity. Radioactive and Precious. And let's change destination. Let's see what Quantar Core wants. None? None? Huh. Somebody's been doing them. Quarter station. Oops. We got electronics and carbon and gallium. Okay. And depot. No mission, no mission, no mission. I believe. Alright. That's it for me. And change the destination. Of course, we'll completely exploit this asteroid, so let's get going.
Charging weapons and defense systems. Please stand by.
Yeah, Corridor's been asking for electronics for quite some time. Nope, that was Vivian. Don't want Vivian. There we go. And as soon as I do 3 missions, I mean 3 trips to the asteroid, what I'll do is I'll go down and I'll check out this one, this one, this one, and this one. I think the customs are the rare roids or unique roids, what the hell they're called, that despawn after you mine them, and so these are pretty much useless. So I'll delete those if I can't find anything there, and I'll go to this one and this one, and they're 10,000, probably about could be 20,000 apart. They might be on the same radar screen. I don't know what counts as a cluster yet, so I'm still feeling my way around it. I might have to adjust this list to take into account different clusters or something, but the way I figure, if I can see it on my 35, I'll consider it part of the cluster, which is probably not ideal. What I'll probably do is readjust it, and I think that's why I liked my 20,000. That's why I like my 20,000 radar, because I could use that. I think I dropped it to 10K, and it was like, okay, anything in my radar search, it's going to be in the cluster. I think that's what I used. But hobbling myself for radar range doesn't seem ideal, especially when I'm searching for roids, right? So, I don't know. I'll figure it out eventually. It might take me a few systems to get a feel for what's really going to work, because, you know, I've got one cluster for the entire system, and that doesn't feel right to me. So I'll start to play with it and see what kind of system I can come up with that feels like, okay, this is a cluster right here, and this isn't. This is not part of that cluster, even though it's kind of within 35K radar. But, you know, once I get the big radars, you know, what am I going to do then, right? So, we'll see. So I'm basically just looking for the purple in the arrow, kind of aiming for just forward, in the direction of my vector, forward of the center of gravity of this roid, and then waiting till there. Alright, and station is that way, and burn for that. So I won't be able to complete the precious metal because it's not going to be in cargo as an integer. So there's that. So I'll complete 3 missions, come back with the precious still in cargo, mine it as for last, and I'll get 4 missions out of it. So yeah, I mean, it is worth getting 16 cargo or whatever it's going to take to get 4 missions per, because, you know, I'm only getting, well, it's only 10% more, right? But, you know, why wouldn't you want to try to take advantage of it? I might not be able to do it, but I'm pretty sure I can. I don't know. We'll find out. I won't know until I try. Yeah, it takes about 2.5 minutes to get to dock. And what I think I should do, I'm considering it, but since both this, well, I'm not sure what this means here. It's like, what are these numbers? Is it the distance from me right now? It's not, the distances are changing, so I'm like, okay, what's it based off of, right? So I'd like to go in and, well, I can't. How am I gonna shove the text in without making I don't want to make the info text too long, or else it's going to start looking weird. It'll truncate the message, so there's only so much I can play with. So I think what I'll do, I mean, this is me thinking about how to make it work. Is give info about the cluster being X distance from the Jumpgate or station, right? And I'll do it from dock, right? I'll do it from here. Oops. Yeah. Sit right here and go, okay, that cluster is 65,000, right? So let's do it up. Give me a second. Let's get orientated for, there we go. And that's station, so this is proper, I believe. No, I think that's the proper way. Because the Milky Way is X and Y coordinates, and you just got to figure out. Call 0, 0, 1000. Oh, good. I got that right. Okay. So this is Galileo. It's up that way past this sucker, which is Fernando's. It's up that way. So we're orientated. Oh. The Milky Way. Oh. There, right? Okay. So it's like Milky Way up there, right there, and I'll just show you where I'll show you the cluster. So that's the first in cluster, and it should stretch upwards, probably out of view. Get that one. That's also close by. That's right next to Galileo. There's the next one. There's the next one. Yeah, it's like, where do I draw the line for the next quote-unquote cluster, right? It's like, if I would say that would be a different cluster, you know? Right? So it's like, oh, common near, that's just the common, so yeah. Alright, so where's this sucker? Whoa, okay. What's that? Whoa, alright. That's small. Way over there. Nice small. Way over there. So yeah, they definitely wouldn't be part of the same cluster, I don't think. Alright, let's go Galileo. It can be quite disorientating, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, if something's within 10K, that's definitely in the same cluster, right? If you can see it on your radar at 10K, it's got to be in the same cluster. do we call 20K? I mean, at what point do we start going, okay, that's definitely a different cluster? Would it be worth doing that? Well, to me, 10K is pay attention, you're gonna have to start decelerating soon. So I think 10K is, because I don't pay attention at 20K, I pay attention at 10K. So there's that. So this will be my third trip at draining it completely. And if I have 16 cargo, and it does work for 4 missions for the first time I do it, and then of course the second time, can I get enough out of that roid, the large ones, to complete 12 missions using, like, that's 2 extra cargo, so that's 6 extra. Is there 6 extra units in a big roid? You know, are there, like, let's do the math here. It's like, currently I'm taking out 14 times 3, approximately, say 40, because I've got partial loads for one of them. Say 41, right? So 42, and then 16 times 3 is 48. So yeah, that's, are there 48 units in, because I know I can get 8 units out of a chip, right? So divided by 8, that's 6 times a chip. So that seems possibly a doable proposition. We'll see. Whoa. What the hell am I doing? 14. Wait, what? How did I? What the hell did I do? Did I just completely forget to do my missions? I think I did. Oh, right, I was showing you guys how far away is everything, and I just totally forgot that I... Okay, then. Yeah, I mean, let's reduce the range of the 17. Yeah, see, that's why I like the 20K radar, because you can cut it down to 10 and go, okay, that's definitely the cutoff for my... but yeah, it could be 1750. I don't know. What I'd like to do is eventually get a bigger radar, like a bigger ship and a better radar, and then be able to go, okay, let's go by one of its settings, because, you know, because it's practical, and go, okay, what number are we going to be happy about using for what's in a cluster or not, right? And yeah, it'll all depend on the ability to get my radar set properly. Otherwise, I practically won't be able to do it easily, right? So that's why I like the hall monitor. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, when do I start feeling uncomfortable about ignoring the screen? I mean, at what point would I feel awkward when I came back from alt tabbing and saw it at X range, right? I mean, is 20K gonna make me feel awkward? No, it's totally not, right? So it's not within close maneuvering range, right? Is 15? Like, I'm willing to bet I'd be happy with 15 at the outside of a cluster. Like, everything within, I can see within 15K is going to be considered the same cluster. 10K is starting to be, okay, I need to pay attention here. And that's the number I usually go for because it's nice and round. But I won't have that luxury with larger radars, right? So I'll need that for exploring as well. So we'll see. Okay, we turned around at 2800. And it looked pretty good so far, but we did overshoot it by quite a bit. So, yeah, say 3,000, something like that. 3,000 would be good for a 14 cargo whirlwind with ore. Oh! Yeah, always good to have that up. Hit that brake as soon as you see the yellow. That way you don't panic and crash into the station. Yeah, I think 48 units is gonna be about right for a large. You know, medium I'll bet is 4 times 8, and small is 2 times 8 maybe, and chip is 1 times 8, right? It seems normal, but it, don't quote me yet. It's definitely just guessing. Alright, Tripoint station. Mining. What do we got? Precious? Oh yeah, take the precious. Always take the precious.
Transaction complete.
Oops.
Transaction complete.
I'll just go mine a chip and complete it. That should be good enough for doing that. Will I get a semi-fluxers? Yeah, I should complete it now.
Transaction complete. Transaction complete.
Alright. So that'll take, this amount of experience will take 3 large radioactive roids to complete. Right? Based on my current track record. Once I get a larger cargo, it'll be a bit more than that, because I complete 12 missions instead of just 11. Or in this case, 10, apparently. Yeah. Check the missions, just out of habit. What we got here? Radioactive impressions, cool. Alright. Quest launch. And I'm pretty sure that was it.
Weapons and defense systems. Please
Mining
stand by.
radioactive? What do you think? Galileo. Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, it's spread out 48K, and that's a pretty silly cluster. That's more like a line of asteroids that aren't in a cluster. Those 3 here are definitely in a cluster. And it's just deciding what's the cutoff. Do I decide at 1750, right? 15,000 might be doable if, say, I get a bigger radar and that's what it gives me. Yeah, it definitely won't be less than 10K, that's for sure. Yeah, just get a feel for it. You know, I mean, giving people an understanding of what a cluster is probably my main goal right now, because I've pretty much answered all the questions I've had so far. I mean, currently, let's go down to 1750 and see whatever's in range, right? I'm hoping for a radar that'll give me 15,000 choice, and that'll be me happy. 1750 is a bit, yeah, it's getting towards 20k, which ain't blowing my skirt up. Like, would you consider, like, if, here's the thing, it's a cluster in the mind's eye would be something that you travel to, and then when you want to get all, you know, you want to go to a cluster and not have a travel time that's ridiculous or beyond reasonable, you know? Yeah, I mean, we've got that. What is that right there, right? Would I consider that a different cluster, right? And we've got to have a hard line on this, right? So it's like, okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. That must be... that one is here. Where is it? That one is the other one over there. That one is the one I can see. Right? So we've taken care of everything nearby, but is there stuff like, you know, I mean, what about that? Would that be inside the cluster, right? I mean, because if I go, okay, that is inside this cluster right here, what do I do about stuff that's close to that, right? I mean, how do you start breaking things up? And, you know, there's got to be a hard limit on what's inside the cluster, because if you can see, here's the thing, if I'm going to include that, and I get to that, and I can see something else within inside that range, that's also within this cluster. So it can get wildly out of control if I go, say, at cluster number 1, and you go to the cluster expecting it all clumped together. Again, you can see it all in your map, but it's strung out, right? So we've got to have some way of controlling the snowball effect of, oh, I thought you said this was a cluster, but it just seems like this long 50,000 kilometer. That's not a cluster, that's the distance to the station, so it's not convenient for me to call it a cluster, right? So that's where I'm at right now. So where the hell's my roid? There it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mined this sucker out. Whoa, that's really fast. 30 tops, I think, for orbit mining. Or orbit mining. 25 is a happy place, you know, once you get really competent. Anything more is just silly. And yes, this is my 3rd time. So I'm hoping I can get 48 out of it when I get 16 cargo. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely ideal. Watch me impact their asteroid. Like, at what speed will you go boom if you hit an asteroid? That's the thing, right? So I think 30 is going to make me go boom. Or at least say comfortably, I can comfortably say that over 30 is going to make me go boom. So yeah, 30 would be a nice. Ah! Yeah, fat fingering. Yeah, right around there on the acceleration scale, that's probably your sweet spot right there. Right? he will slowly get out of range. Like, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. And as you can see, I'm always trying to orbit the narrowest width. Just to control my, you know, orbit range. Because if you feel you're getting too far away, you'll speed up, and if you feel you're getting too close, you'll slow down, and the extremes are going to screw it up, right? Which is obvious. I mean, that's like telling grandma how to suck eggs. Yeah, there are things in this game that are plainly obvious to people and doesn't need explaining. And then there are things that you've been playing the game too long and you forgot and you start taking for granted. That's the most important thing to remember in order to tell the noob, because that's what they need to know. Absolutely. The stuff you're taking for granted, you've got to be able to elucidate. But, of course, what's painfully obvious to a noob and what's taken for granted by a veteran that's not painfully obvious to a noob is the art of mentoring, basically. Almost. And now, of course, when I come back to the roid, I won't be able to mine it anymore. Sorry. Killing a fly. I'm like, shit. It's getting to be summer. And I've always got this habit of putting my target on the port side. It's superstition. I don't know. Habit. It sure helps your instincts, muscle memory, to have it there. You know, because the mind's eye sees it, even if it's in your peripheral vision. Yeah, I figure all that you see on the right in the radar, that's all the same cluster, which I don't like at all. So we'll definitely deal with that. I figure a hall monitor is going to work great once I start deciding. You know, once I've done my exploring, gotten everything done, I can go back to each cluster with a hall monitor equipped and make the hard decisions of, okay, what's a cluster, what isn't, you know. Yeah, you need a hard and fast rule for yourself, a rule of thumb, so you can explain it to people and go, anything that if I go to roid and I see something else on the radar screen that's inside the hall monitor's 10K limit, that's going to be considered also a cluster. And if I go to that roid and I see another roid, that's also within the same cluster. And having that is going to control the snowballing effect of everything in the system is one cluster, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So turn and burn at 3000. Here we go. And in my calculations, I never use the afterburner because what if you used up all your fuel, right? So, voila, perfect, 3000. Okay, I'm happy with 3000. Turn and burn at 3000. Done. Oh, select the station. There we go. Done. Okay, I'll complete the missions and take a break. Or not. The wife went back back to sleep. Wow. Mission, Tripoint, mining, precious, perfect. So,
Transaction complete.
do. Radioactive, great.
Transaction complete.
Actually, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that 36 would be, I just need to do 3 trips to a single radioactive to get 36,000 experience, right? Well, you know, with 16 cargo, theoretically, hypothetically. So semi-fluxer's done, perfect. Fluxer.
Transaction complete. Transaction. Transaction complete.
There. So that's 2 trips to a large radioactive. So yeah, pretty easy, huh? Let's check this out. Check the mission. I'm always curious about whether or not if you're doing something for a while and you come back, does the mission change? Like I've tried logging, that doesn't work. I've tried undocking and docking, that doesn't work. It's same mission set. Alright. Market. Show all. Credits. Check that. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break anyways. Yeah. Yawn, sorry. I've done what I did. I've done what I did. I did what I planned on doing. So that'll be it for today. Should I fit a hall monitor and go check stuff out? I mean, I have mapped that cluster.
Purchase completed.
Let's do it up.
Charging weapons and defense systems. Please stand by.
So I think the Typhoon and the Cyclone is the one you get Tripoint, Quantum Core, and the Corridor build other types. So let's go check this stuff out. That's the beginning of the cluster. Let's go exploring. So this will be cluster 1. Down to 10K. It's like 10K is an easy number to get across. It's not a complicated number people have to remember. It's pretty easy. Getting across concept like this has to be intuitive. And yeah, I mean, the sphincter factor of 10K is something I understand viscerally. You know, once you're past the 10K mark and approaching something, you start to pay attention, right? So 10K is good. The rule of thumb is anything I can see within that for each roid. I have to go to each roid and make sure there's nothing I can see beyond that. If there's not, then that cluster is complete. We've closed off this cluster. We'll call that a cluster. And then, yeah, that's cluster number 1. I am expecting that I get only these 3 roids in front of me inside that cluster. probably split this video up too. Yeah, this will be pretty much the beginning. So yeah, welcome to Jumpgate. I'm Major Freak, and this is me with a hall monitor set to 10K, and I'm dividing up this cluster that I've named so far from A to J, and I'm going to control the size of the cluster. Now I can see roids that away, and that's part of this cluster. So this, and this will be a radioactive, and this is, I named it after Galileo's protege, and that is Descartes and Galileo. That'll be Descartes, that'll be Galileo. I mean, sorry, that's Galileo, this is Descartes. Naming, I went with Galileo because of scientists. I'm like, let's name him after scientists. Start doing that. And this is the 1600 to 1700 era contemporaries of Galileo. And I decided, since there's 4, I went with, okay, Descartes is the precious, and there are 4 French scientists around that time that were famous, and luckily there were about 4 precious in this quote cluster, aka most of the roids. Now I don't see anything else but these 3, so I'm adjusting this to be, and this will be, you know, we don't know, so just remove this altogether. There. So let's go to Chanute, which is the precious at -20. And of course we have to close this and reopen it to get a refresh, but we're good so far. Okay, we're just gonna Alt-4 at her. Somewhat. Okay, connect server.
Welcome, pilot. You may proceed.
Awesome. Okay, so hello, what's that over there? Oh, sorry, 20K. So we'll consider this as not the next cluster. We will consider this another cluster. Go down to 10K. Open this sucker up. And there it is. So right there. Okay, so we'll go to this roid, and I'm assuming that I can see more stuff near it. If not, lol. Okay, I don't see anything near it. I can see, this thing is the render distance is quite far, so I can see that roid, but it's 20K, you know, I mean, how far is station, right? So I'm not going to consider this part. And that's the thing, it's like, am I going to be tempted to go, okay, well, this is by itself, and that's the first cluster. What's this? Like, if I go to this one, I can see it clear enough. am I going to start saying, okay, 1750 is where is the same cluster? I mean, could I consider this the same cluster? Should be the next one below it. Semiflux. Or is it, there is. Yeah, I mean, here we are. We're going to hit 10, and we have a single roid there. What's this one? Right? Is it the precious? Oops. No, it's not. Is it the ice? Yes, it's the ice. Okay, so it is 9.6. Okay, so I think that's station. So 10K. And the other one is, how far away is that one, right? I mean, there. And then there. 12 behind me. That's 14. And that's 12, right? So it's like, it feels like this is in the same cluster right here, but those aren't, right? Because that's 28K, that'll be 27K, and that'll be 34K, right? So it's definitely not the same cluster as us. What's this one though? So that's 12. So okay, so I can see that within 12. So if I go here, right? If I go here, and that's 13,000 kilometers, right? But what if I go here and I go, okay, how far is the first cluster? What if that's 13,000 kilometers, right? I mean, if I do that, then the stuff behind me right now is going to be in the cluster ahead of me. So I'm like, okay, that's getting a little bit too ridiculous. Okay, so those are not. But yeah, that's the situation you're gonna. It's like, when do you start? When do you draw the line, right? Yeah, so those are definitely not within 13,000. They're almost 20K. So it's like, yeah, I mean, at what point do you start drawing the line? When you go, okay, that's just ridiculous. So yeah, that's the conundrum I'm faced with, deciding whether or not to go, okay, that's fine, we're gonna go with that. So I think the semiflux was, yeah. So we'll go hug the semiflux. And we'll call the one behind us. Also, that's this same cluster, right? So anything within a certain distance from okay. Let's go to the rotacol that I've set up. Close enough. All right. So that is 13. That is less than 10. That's 14. That's 11. 36. 39. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, do I consider that? Let's go here. Do I consider this within this cluster behind me, right? Can I consider that, you know? And I have been toying with the idea of 15,000 as a potential the furthest I'd consider treating this as a cluster. But what if I go to an next system and there's a tantalizing asteroid just beyond that, right? What do I do, right? So we've got to have some sort of a decent rule of thumb. So do I feel this is the same cluster, right? Because at 10K there's nothing in view. And I know that the rest of them, like, let's go through this. So that one's 23 likes. So how big of an area, right? So let's consider area too, right? But will we, right? Because what if I bump into a situation where everything's within 10K, but it stretches out to 60,000 kilometers in a line, right? And I'd consider that a cluster. You know, if they were all of the the three good types that we want, like radioactive, precious, and flux, right? And ice, sorry. So the 4 types that are not common. So if there was a line of those unbroken, then I consider that a cluster. Would I consider commons the same cluster? Probably. Yeah, and that's where you run into trouble. Yeah, this is definitely going to have to be a work in progress. So I'm comfortable with ignoring total distance covered as opposed to, 14, 10, and that of course is really far away. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely consider everything I just dealt with a single cluster, right? Because they're all less than 15K. Well, most of them. That other one was 20. And do I exclude it because of that? I don't believe so. I believe you go to the center of that cluster and you decide, right? I think that could also be helpful. Find the roid that's in the center of the cluster and go, is this cluster too big? Like around, is this cluster not feeling like a cluster anymore because I've included too many things? And if I was in the situation hypothetically where there was everything within 10K in a line that goes out to 60K, yeah, I'd have to consider it the same cluster, honestly. Yeah, that'll be the exception, but we're of course all looking for the tight grouping of everything within 10K. That would be nice, but yeah, there's that and the reality. So here's the ice, and it's got okay, so here's the thing. We're running a situation where these two things are pretty much farther apart than anything else around. Well, let's check it out, right? And this is the dangerous one. I don't like its waypoint. I don't like its rotacol. But it shaves. It's a little too close for comfort. But I think we can all agree that we can aim a little bit off. You know? I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, people might complain, oh, it's too close to the roid. But it's like, you can aim a little bit off and still know that you're X from banker range, right? So I think that's definitely doable. All right, so yeah, I mean, is there anything in range? No, only that. So what do? Do we go, is that sucker within range? Yeah, it's less than 15K, but what if something was 15,001 meter? What do you do then, right? It just depends if I can get a radar that gives me 15,000. If I can't, it's not going to be feasible, right? We'll have to look at another number. But for now, we're going to assume that these two are a cluster and the others are a cluster. So let's fix it now. All right. So 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E, 3A, 3B. There we go. Done. And since we're in space, let's deal with the ones I haven't gone to yet. Let's check out the custom, because I don't believe they exist anymore. I'm seeing something there, aren't you? It could be a common, but yeah, that looks dead center. That's an interesting one. This could get interesting. I honestly don't know what custom means, so we'll see. Now, do rare roids, when they despawn, do they have specific locations that they'll randomly spawn at, or is it just truly random, right? I just always assumed it would just be like artifacts, and you'd like, whatever, dude, right? But I'd be quite amazed. Like, this could be just en route to the location, but it looks like that looks good. Ooh, this is a nice cluster. Well, no, actually it's not a nice cluster. It looks like just, what, one? Are those? They might be large, those two. 1, 2 big ones, 3 big ones. That looks like a common. Is it custom as in ridiculously big? You know? Like, this could be ridiculously big. Like, I would always ignore it because, oh, it just looks like a common. But what if it's, like, retardedly big, right? Let's go here. That's pretty exact, actually. Nice rotacol number. Okay, so go here. So 3, 2, 1, 0, 1. Okay, well, that's really damn close. Okay. What the hell? Oh, crap. Is the server thinking I'm a noob again? Lol. This is really weird when it does that. Safety belt for docking. Honors mark for completing a mission. What the hell? Alright, so... this is not a good barometer of the size of the roid, unfortunately, because I do proximal. I'd have to fiddle around with it, but I'm not... Like, let's go out to 15. It just looks like a big, so I don't know what they're talking about. Is it, like, gonna dwarf the screen if I get within banker range, right? Not really. Just looks like a large. Right? Very odd. Don't... Custom. Okay, the sun's that... Alright. Sun is that away, but... Yeah, I'm still getting good lighting. Let's check it on this side. Do they mean this thing? No. Yeah. Very odd. Well, the sun's coming from here, but this is the light side of it, so whatever. There we go. And it's got banker range. Yeah, I think this is just a common. I don't... And it doesn't look very big, right? So there's nothing... I don't know, it's... Common. Yeah, it's a common. Why are people getting worked up about a common, right? It's just a common. I mean, it might be cool that it's a custom because there are lots of larges around. Right? There's a whole bunch within range, but how many commons, right? So, rotacol 35.6, 16.7, 34.9. What I'll probably do is split this video again. Rotacol 48 that way, but I need to be pointing towards here and find out which way's up. Goody. Alright, so rotacol 35.6 minus 16.7, 34.9. Alright, 48. So, okay, that's easy. So that's the rotacol numbers are decimal plates. One place, it is 100 meters. Second place decimal point is 10 meters. And third is 1 meter. So if we want to go 48, and it looks to be exactly X, we're just going to go 50. No, we'll just go 40. So we'll add... No, we'll go 50. So we'll go 5, and unintuitively to the left of us, is plus X, which is really silly, but whatever. We can't change it. I think it was a coding error. They made it really quickly in slapdash for the system, so they might have just made an error. Yeah, it was shortly after I released and got famous for my star charts, and I think they just got jealous or just angry that somebody was actually publicizing instead of, you know, keeping it secret and safe for their own profit, right? They probably just didn't understand. All right, so labbing away, and I just didn't do it properly. So if I'm going that way, I want to come this way. It's minus 0.05, so 35.55 minus 16.7, and that should theoretically have it go 2 meters. Let's call it meters instead of distance to the right. But it might show otherwise. Let's see what happens. Okay, so 14 ahead. So 35.54. No, wait. 5, 6. Yeah, it's really hard to get used to the fact that you're oriented and left is plus X. All right. Minus, that's forward a bit, so that's more forward than right, so I need to get more negative, so 16 point and more negative by 10, so 7.1, I mean 0.71, and then it's looking good for, so I won't mess with it right now. So there we go. And I don't have my camera, so I can't remember what it is, so I better have good memory. So 0.56 and 0.71. Okay, so I need 7 minus 7, so I need right, so 55571. 5, 5. 1. So 551 minus 16.7, 34.9. 14 again. All right. Yeah. Rotacol. 35.55. And minus 16.72, 34.9, 72, 553 and 72. So it was 7.2. I needed 6 that away. So 1.5, 34.9. There we go. So 553. Let's write that down quickly. Give me a sec. All this work for just a common. Good enough. All right. So that's set for that one. 3, 5, and minus 16. Cool. Yeah. Custom might have been a collection of roids. So yeah, let's see how many larges there are. So we've got our center set. Medium, 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 large. So we got large here, and the sun is coming from the opposite of there. Give me a sec, I'll just do it exactly. So that was the dark side. This is assuming the light side. Something like. Alright, so I want to be gonna do rough stuff here. So 34 minus 15.7. Just go one decimal place. Won't get fancy. Just fancy for the first one. Okay, that's one of them. Rotacol 35.6 minus 16.7, 34.9. All right, so that's the other one. So all that is junk, really. That's a medium, probably. Pretty sure. Let's go check it out. Pretty sure this is medium-ish, small, whatever. Yeah, pretty much. All right. Yeah. All right, so that's another large. So we've got 2 large so far. That could be another medium, small, whatever. So yeah, you've got 2 larges. It looked like more, you know, when we were coming in, but it's really not. It's like, way to go. You just made a custom rotacol for 2 larges? What's the point? Right? So yeah, that was kind of useless. Yeah, and that's the other one, right? So yeah, that's it. That is completely it for this cluster. 2 larges. So yeah, not worth our time at all. Period. gonna go over the custom small. I don't know why you put custom small, but we're gonna check it out. It's probably what? Probably a rare, you know, stuff that has metals in it or something, and this goes pop. So that's nothing. So yeah, delete those two. Rad small. Head to that one. And apparently it should render at 50K distance. Where's the other one? Closer? No. Yep, safe to delete those two. What's that? Probably just a common. I don't even know what the rare ones look like. Cargo. So 4896 for common. Yep, common. All right. Where are we? There we go. Oh, I see something. Could be just a star though. It's flashing. Stars don't. Yeah, it's definitely moving. All right, that's the one. So it's there. Oh, yawn. Uh-oh, path of hordes. Gonna have to be careful. Swarm. Looking at here, dark side and light side, maybe. Oh, doesn't look like we have much choice in that department. All right. Question is, where is station? Okay, station's there. I don't have much wiggle room for thrusters anymore. So I won't do anything fancy here. Alright, oh yeah, I'm just gonna mine it out. Boing. Oopsie. Wrong thing to do, sorry. that's definitely a small. Might be a medium, but whatever. And what's a rotacol? So we're happy with that rotacol. Just go dock up and deal with it later. Off we go. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break, so be back in a bit. Yeah, a few moments later. Now I gotta be careful here because, of course, I have low afterburner fuel. And there we go. Cool. Go till it turns yellow.
Docking procedure initiated.
Transaction complete.
Alright, what do we got? Precious snow, semi-flux of snow, rad, and okay.
Transaction complete. Transaction complete. Transaction complete.
Alright.
Charging weapons and defense systems. Please stand by.
Alright, so I think what I'll want to do is make either a list of clusters of commons with the central one, the biggest one, the central one, listed in the database, or it's somehow either in the system or nested under a different parentheses, say common, and then I could put in the stations under that, hopefully, you know, because that'll be a tree, and you could go to Tripoint, see all the commons or the clusters of commons, and you could divest it from the ones you really want, right? Without making the rotacol list too long. Yeah, so I'm not sure which is going to be better, but I'm suspecting that if I make a common parentheses tree, that'll be better for everybody, I think. But we'll see. So, I think I'll take a break and deal with the rotacols for these later. That is a common. And I'll drain this sucker. Oh, okay then. I Yes, it's drained. Alright, so it gets us a small. Since I pulled out 14 units, and it's probably going to have about 16 in it, that it was like, nope. Just noped out. Ice small. That away. Yeah, so this... Okay, so, alright, it is... Okay, they're close together, but I wouldn't call it a cluster. I just, you know, nearby roids. Definitely, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not going to be comfortable calling this a cluster. It's just, you know, two nearby roids that aren't going to be called a cluster. Gotcha. Oh dear. Nap time. Yep, and that is an ice, and yep. That'll be a small too, I'm assuming. Alright, done. So those are confirmed. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Save. Reopen. Argle. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Uh-oh. What the hell is this? Alright. Weird. Alright. Not a shortcut. Open. Alright, back at it. Now let's see if I disconnect, because I had to go and crash the system, so hopefully...
Welcome, pilot. You may proceed.
Why am I docked? Why am I docked? I didn't dock. I was in space. Alrighty. Mine precious metal. Boo. And mine semi-fluxers? Yeah. Okay, same mission as before, and... meh. Oh, cool. I can... okay.
Transaction complete.
Yes.
Transaction complete.
Alright.
Transaction complete.
Alright, so... mining database, commons, Tripoint, perfect. I like that a lot. Pointer, point, perfect. Awesome, 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 awesome. Awesome, yeah, I'll deal with getting these more exact next time. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I really do. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.